Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we're going to be doing my October TBR. So October is one of my favourite months of the year. The autumny vibes and just everything. It's like just a fresh time of year, I guess. But yeah, it's like my perfect weather. I'm not a huge fan of like boiling hot sunshine, so I like it when it gets like windy and crisp and but yeah, I've got some exciting books that I want to read in October, so let's just get started. Okay, so the first book, this has been on a few TBRs recently, but that is Nightshine by Tessa Gratton. So I definitely really want to try and get to this in October because this is a really shiny cover. It feels like it could be very autumnal, like just the vibes. I feel like it just gives off that energy. So this is, I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but I know it's like super atmospheric writing. Tessa Gratton has beautiful writing, and I've heard it described as like similar to a Studio Ghibli movie, so I'm excited for that. I'll summarise the synopsis. So basically there's this orphan girl called Nothing and she has a friend who is the prince. Then the prince gets kidnapped and Nothing has to work together with some other people, I think, to try and rescue the prince, and there's an evil sorceress. It just sounds like very classic fantasy but atmospheric and cool, so I'm really excited for this one. And then I'm trying to tackle some bigger fantasy series to try and finish them off. So I last in September I finished off Faithful and the Fallen, which I pat on the back, and now I want to try and finish the Lycanius trilogy. So I've read The Shadow of What Was Lost, but I want to try and get to the other two, so I'm putting An Echo of Things to Come on this list, and I've heard really good things about this one because I think the first one is maybe self-published, but now this one is like got a publisher, so I think it's probably going to be even better because it's just a bit more edited and stuff. I don't know, I feel like I noticed that with Rage of Dragons and Fires of Vengeance. Fires of Vengeance just felt a bit more like polished, so I'm hoping the same's true for this one. And I really like some of the characters in this series. I honestly can't super remember what it's about. But I think in the first one there's like this group of kind of teenagers and they are at this like magical school type thing, and then the whole school gets killed except a couple of them, and then they run away and have to save the world. That's basically the story. But yeah, there's some of the characters which I really like, and there's loads of kind of magic, and there's some cool like time magic which is interesting. I feel like the writing style as well, it's just very reminiscent of Sanderson, so I don't know, I just enjoy reading it. So yeah, I'm not doing very good with my descriptions of books today. Okay, then next we have The Mercies by Karen Millward Hargrave, and this one I like. This one for some reason is like a dust magnet, but anyway, look how pretty the cover is. So I started this one ages ago, like maybe like January time, and I only read about 20 pages and then I think I got distracted by other books. But I'm really excited for this one, and I think we're following these Norwegian, I believe it's Norwegian or Swedish, yeah, no, Norwegian island, and one day suddenly all the men die, or they die in a shipping accident type thing because there's a big storm. So now there's only the women left on the island, so it's about them kind of fending for themselves. But then also this priest comes along, a Scottish priest, who I think maybe causes some drama, trying to impart religion and things, which I think it'll be really interesting, and I think it's a bit like spooky kind of horror type thing. So I'm looking forward to it. And I've just been watching Midnight Mass, the new like thing. I don't really know, I don't think it's like in the series, but it's by the same like producers and everything, similar to Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House TV show, and it's so good. I just love that kind of, I'm not a huge fan of horror, but I like that kind of gothic, spooky, like slightly supernatural type, chilling horror, that kind of side of things. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, and then we have books 2 and 3 in the, I'm not actually sure what the series is called. I think it might be called the Interdependency, but the first one's called The Collapsing Empire. And I read it in September and I really enjoyed it, so I had to get myself books 2 and 3. And I don't know, they are very like classic UK sci-fi covers, but I actually quite like them, just like the colours and things. I think they're quite cool. And yeah, I really enjoyed book 1, so I want to read books 2 and 3. Don't know what's going to happen in these 2 books, but the first one basically is following about 3 different POVs in this kind of space sci-fi opera world, and everything's connected by this thing called the flow, so you can get like travel super fast between different planets and solar systems. but the flow is collapsing. So it's about these kind of different people and how they're dealing with that, and there's a lot of like politics and kind of plotting and backstabbing, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it, and it has such a tone of like humour to it. I had such a great time reading the first book, so I'm really excited for these two. It almost reminds me a bit of like the Joe Abercrombie of sci-fi, except it's not quite as dark, like grimdark type thing, but it's just that kind of humour is really good. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and the characters are great, so I'm looking forward to continuing the trilogy. And then next I would like to get to Frostheart III, which I think comes out like in a couple of days. I don't have it yet, but I have it pre-ordered from Waterstones, so I'm looking forward to getting my copy of that. And this is basically the last book in the Frostheart trilogy. It's a middle grade, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favourite middle grade series. Just the like wintry vibes. Oh, it's so good. And Ash, the main character, he's so cute. It's basically this world is like, it's like a wintry world, like polar fantasy. And the main character Ash has like singing magic, and he's lost his parents, and basically the whole trilogy, a lot of things happen, but he's essentially trying to find his parents, and he joins the crew of this Frostheart, which is like a ship which travels around the ice, and it's cute. It's just like a middle grade adventure, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then also want to read Legacy of Steel, so another series that I'm trying to get through, and Legacy of Steel actually is my one outstanding NetGalley arc. I really want to try and finish that. I finished Legacy of Ash in September, which I was quite pleased with. I really enjoyed it. It's not like a new favourite or anything, and I think it was quite long, so it took me a while to get through. But I think now I'm actually very attached to the characters, and I know who's who and like what's going on. So I'm about 10% into Legacy of Steel, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I was so happy because a certain couple / ship that I knew were going to be a thing in book one, because the second book is kind of a year later, are now a thing, and I was so proud of my gaydar. But anyway, so yeah, it's quite an epic series. There's a lot of sort of politics going on, and there's these kind of empires like split and their various warring factions. And now I think in the second book there's more of a thing with this, there's this like crow market who are like the evil people. They have, I'm not 100% sure if they're people or birds or whatever they are, people bird things. They're now trying to like take over. And they've got like people in positions of power, so there's a lot of kind of plotting going on, and I really like there's two kind of main siblings at the heart of the story, which I quite like. And in the first book as well, the main, well, one of the villains is an absolute MILF, and I love her. But yeah, yeah, I do enjoy the characters, so I'm excited to see where the second book goes. Okay, then I also want to read The Bone Shard Emperor. So this is kind of me hoping I get approved for it on NetGalley, because I haven't yet, but I requested it, and usually I think Orbit generally approve requests. So fingers crossed, but I may have just cursed myself by putting it on this TBR. But anyway, as soon as I get it, I want to read it, because it's the sequel to The Bone Shard Emperor, which I read last year and really enjoyed. There's a character called Mephi, who's like this little otter kitten thing, like magical speaking otter, who's so cute and one of my favourite like animal companions of all time. Yeah, and it's just, I really enjoy the characters. Again, it's kind of like nautical fantasy type thing. I think I wasn't expecting that as much when I initially read it, but yeah, there's different, we're following Lynn, who's like the Emperor's daughter. This is in book one, by the way, not book two. And she is trying to almost overthrow her father, and she has like this bone magic, which is really cool. You can like instruct the bones to do things and then put them into constructs, and then they like do things. And then also Javis, who is like this grumpy smuggler, and he's the one who ends up with Mephi, and them two together are just an iconic pair. I love them. And then there's another couple who I can't remember the names of. One of them's called Romani maybe, and one beginning with F. Anyway, and they're like an established sapphic couple, and they're a bit more on the political side of things. And there's some sort of, I'm pretty sure there's some sort of rebellion going on in their story. But anyway, it's really cool. So I'm excited to see what happens in book two and get more Mephi content. And then some audiobooks I want to read. So Fool's Quest by Robin Hobb, which is the second book in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. So I'm not going to say what it's about, because it's like book 15 in the series, or 16, I don't even know. But yeah, I read Fool's Assassin in September, and oh, it might honestly be my favourite book in the realm of the Eldlings so far, because I just love things, and I'm so attached to Fitz now. I can't believe when I first read Assassin's Apprentice I didn't really like Fitz that much, but now he's like well and truly a DILF. Although he kind of was in the second series, but anyway. Yeah, and certain things which happened at the ends of Fool's Assassin made me very excited for Fool's Quest. And very nervous as well. And yeah, I just love it. And actually reading Fool's Assassin, it was, I think, a perfect time of year to read it. I think the Fitz books, especially in the realm of the Eldlings, are very like September-y or October. I was trying to say October and autumn at the same time. Very like autumnal books to read. I don't know, just something about the atmosphere, and like, I don't know if it's just because I have memories of like going to National Trust places on holiday in October half term, and the Frostheart books definitely remind me of that, just like that kind of vibe. I don't know, like bookkeep especially. And yeah, so I think it's just a good time of year to read them, so I want to try and finish the trilogy, and then I'll have to go back and read Royal Assassin and Assassin's Quest. But yeah, I got through Fool's Assassin so fast, considering it's like a 28-hour audiobook or something. I think Fool's Quest is about 33 hours, but I'm sure I'll read it pretty fast because you just get so invested. And certain characters are back now, which just, and there's a new character as well, Dee, who I absolutely adore. She's probably one of my favourite Robin Hobb characters, if not my favourite. Yeah, so anyway, I'm very excited for that one. So Persepolis Rising, which is book 7 in the Expanse. So I'm trying to finish off the Expanse books which are out before Leviathan Falls comes out in November, I think. So I want to try and get to book 7. I don't know how to describe that one because honestly I don't know what it's about. I know it's like, I think it's kind of, so the Expanse is 9 books and it's kind of split almost into 3 trilogies. So I think book 7 will be the start of almost a new trilogy, and possibly that I might just be making this up, but I wonder if the character's a bit older because there's quite a big time jump. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it anyway. The Expanse just follows this crew of the Rossi, which is like a spaceship, and the different things happen in different books, but it's basically this like epic sci-fi space opera is the word I'm looking for. And there's kind of basically 3 main factions, so Earth, Mars and the Belt, and they're all have various beef with each other. And then there's this thing which gets introduced in book 1 called the protomolecule, which is like this alien substance. So they're kind of the main points as the series goes on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to book 7. And yeah, so that is all the books I want to try and get to in October. I actually did quite well with my September TBR, so I'm quite hopeful for this one. Yeah, and then a couple of books that were on my September TBR, but I'm kind of in the middle of, like Wings of Shadow. I want to finish that, but I'll probably finish that like today or tomorrow, so I didn't bother including it here. Yeah, and I'm sure there's another one that I'm like in the middle of, but I can't remember. Anyway, Daughter of the Forest. I'm in the middle of that audiobook, so I want to try and finish that as well. So yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and comment down below letting me know a book you want to read in October, any sort of spooky season books, and I am going to be filming a video today, and so it'll be up in the next week or two, of spooky season recommendations for books, because I've been loving like spooky books recently. I hope you're all having a really great day, and I'll see you next time.